Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Let's see. Carol Lund, thank you so much for 22 months membership. And Lydia Washington has blessed yet another worthy squatty with a membership. Thank you for that. And why did that song just pop in my head? Wasn't that song, Don't Let It Go to Your Head, Girl? Don't let it go to your head, girl. Yes, there's a new sheriff in town. I got the power. Hey, hey. Woo. Okay. No, it's all good. Let me see who was here first. Emerald Derek, thank you so much for being here first. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And Hattie Musangu, thank you so much. Carol Lund and Kathy G. Mary H. Olive Perry. Who else is here? Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer. And a host of friends and others. Okay. Oh, thank you for all the hearts for Church Nellie. Although Church Nellie would have just as easily have accepted some Night Train or some Old Granddad or Richard's Wild Irish Rose or Beaujolais, Champagne. uh, but that's good too. Did I say Old Granddad? Some Old Granddad. Any of those would have done the trick, but hearts are good too. Um, that's right. The saloon is open. Make sure you all settle your tabs on the way out. All right. So I love that picture of Meghan walking through the garden there. That is beautiful. That's not. That is not beautiful. That little stumpy thing right there has caused a great deal of trouble, a lot of controversy. And so, apropos of her mentality, you may notice that I used a background image for her that is actually representing some type of disease. I forgot what it is, but you can see the red blood cells are under attack by some virus. Can you see that? Yeah, that's what I thought would be appropriate. That that some opportunistic infection is attacking. So we need only wait for the white blood cells to come and smother them out. But for now, the red blood cells are on their own while that pestilence um, permeates the bloodstream. Yeah, I thought it was appropriate. I've used a few um, images like that where it represents disease and virus. It's just something I do to, amuse myself. And so for that horrible person, you know, I was listening to the Lady Sussex earlier, and the Lady Sussex was saying how sympathetic she was to, excuse me while I get comfortable, to, little what's her name here? Little Mama. And Lady Sussex even mentioned that there was so many African American women that rallied to her support. And it's really sad because The past few days, I have been reminded of how much racism exists, and how much worse things have gotten because, or should I say, how much worse things are because of who sits in the White House, the man who makes a bad situation worse. But at the same time, I still would rather focus on the people that are not carrying on or conducting themselves in such a obviously racist manner. But I think about how many times that when you see a woman of color, and in particular a black woman, where anything that is not covering up this and covering up that, um, all of a sudden, what is attractive on, let's say, any white actress or white celebrity, when you put it on a black woman, then all of a sudden they use words like vulgar and over the top, and it's a pattern there. It is a pattern. And a lot of times I would imagine that we just pretend like we don't see it or we look the other way, hoping that that's not what they mean. But if nothing else, I've learned in the past few years because of the attacks on Meghan, and it's going on what, 8 years of this now, is that this pattern of behavior where it's mostly these so-called feminist white women, and of course these um, white journalists like a Pierce Morgan or a Jeremy Clarkson or you name them, that they love to attack black women. They just, that's like oxygen for them. That's their oxygen. That's what they use for nourishment. That is their building block um, of nutrition. It's like protein, and you have no choice but to push back. And I'm glad because that's exactly what's been happening the past few days. I'm so impressed with how many people, black or white, young and old, that have been pushing back against this. I am so impressed. I'm encouraged. I'm actually very encouraged by that because a lot of the girls, the girl power girls from TikTok and other platforms, they have really rallied support for Meghan. Really rallied support. And white men, as the lady Sussex pointed out, a lot of white men, young white men at that, have rallied support for Meghan. I mean, and let's face it, when it came to the presidential race, there was probably about, oh, I would say, I forget what the numbers were, but even though the election didn't go the way we hoped it would, it was still incredible to see all of those people that supported the vice president, all of those people that would go on social media and such and declare their support for her, even at a time when even what Trump himself made that about race when he said, I didn't know she was black. That was a dog whistle that was designed to um, take some support away from her. I'm embarrassed to say support in the black community. That's exactly what it was designed to do. So this is a moment. This has become a moment. Meghan McCain's big mouth has actually created one of those moments where you really have to look around and examine your surroundings. You really have to look around and try to figure out what people's intentions are, especially when it comes to the social media. You really have to take a good look at where things are trending. Fortunately, it is trending more support for Meghan than less. First few days, I think people were just caught off guard, but now I'm just like totally amazed and pleased with how many people have come out to support her. That is a good thing. It reassures me in the humanity. It puts my faith back in humanity. Let's see here. Bond says Meghan McCain reminds me of Jabba the Hutt with no with her no neck self. Yeah, she's a bit stumpy. She is a bit of a brick. She is a bit of a brick, little boxy thing. Um, I was always amazed with those little complicated hairstyles she had, where she would sit there. I don't know how old she is, but I it's kind of like there's something psychological that was going on where you would see this big grown woman on The View with little pigtails like she's in a playground. I was like, how old is she? Is this bring your daughter to work day? How old is she? I was always confused by that. I'm just like, did they not do her hair? Was she too late to go to hair and makeup, so they just did her makeup and pushed her out there? Um, it always seemed like she just clipped on a couple of hair pieces and just sat down at the table instead of the fact they probably had a whole team of people working on her. Um, that was kind of strange to me. I was just like, okay, that is a rather juvenile look. I mean, I was expecting her to like walk out with a jump rope and some barrettes in her hair or some of that big chalk that the kids write on the sidewalk. I was expecting she might just get up from the table and go over to the little stage area and just start scratching with that chalk. Uh, yeah, I do have a little bit of that too. I do have a little bit of that as well. Let me see here. I just want to take a look at a couple of your comments here. If they know the American people, they aren't as stupid, some of them, as some of the Brits. They most definitely be looking at it, especially ones that knows what they have been going through. Yeah, yeah, it's going to be a big audience, I'm sure. Oh, Angela Stanley, congratulations. Oh, I'm so glad that happened for you then. I'm glad you got it. Um, oh my goodness. Oh, well, you know what? There you go. I'm going to give you a bell, and I'm so glad that you're the one that received it. See, Lydia just be knowing. I don't know how she know, but Lydia just knows. So, and I hope everything works out for you. Okay. Okay. Checking, checking, checking. All right. I'm just about through taking my glance at the comments here. Hey, Legs. Uh, oh, I did. You know what? We have not heard from her for a while, have we? We have not heard from that person. And I saw her What is it, a commercial? It was some kind of promotion she was doing. Oh, I think she was either at the Walmart store or something like that, and as soon as I saw her, I just switched it off. I'm here with Bethany Frankel, click. That'll do it, click. And now I'm at that point, as soon as see her face, I get triggered and I feel a need to run. Yeah, I feel the need to run from her as soon as I see her face. William Morris something. That's the talent agency that Megan signed up for. William Morris, is it Enterprise or something? But William Morris merged with another talent company. And so William Morris is, I don't want to say that they go after your enemies, but they will definitely, especially if the other talents are under one umbrella, they can remind you to be nice. I'll just say it like that. They can remind you to be nice. That's what that means. Is that and it's no different than like with the networks. You have to wonder sometime. I wonder why some of the legacy media puts up with Fox or with anything Murdoch. Well, that's because they're all part of one big clan, and sometimes it's just not to your advantage to step on people's toes. So I'm going to imagine that someone probably, just reminded her, as people say, if you still want to work in this town, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, and plus, she, she, well, okay. I got another example. Joan Collins. Remember when Joan Collins was on Hoghead Show? And he was trying to get her to say something about Meghan. And because of the backlash from the Sussex squad, she was like, nope, nope, I have nothing to say. Nope, mm-mm, nope, that kind of thing. So it's not just, you got to worry about something like William Morris, but the Sussex squad has been very effective, you guys. Don't get it twisted. The Sussex squad has been very effective by challenging some of these fake stories and things like that. Um, Eventually, you can wear people down to where they just don't want that heat. They just don't want that heat. So, yeah, there you go. Oh, you know what? I need to open up another one so I can see. Yep, you got to take the profit out of certain things for people. And Joe, speaking of Joan Collins, I'm not gonna, go on a whole thing with her, but she has just gotten very comfortable with declaring her solidarity to the Orange Menace. Now, I heard in the interview long before he ran for president that she modeled the character of Alexis Carrington Colby. Um, that was her model, was you know, Donald Trump. Ruthless, cruel, going after your enemies. Well, she's been a friend of his for a long time. And I guess she figures since he's going back to the White House that she can be more, you know, public about her feelings toward him. So that's what happened. All right. So I need to get moving here. Yeah, Stevie Rose, they keep saying that she's not relevant, but yet they use her constantly as a clickbait, which means that she must be relevant because you keep bringing her name up. You keep bringing her name up. And even stories about the other royals that are just so weak that they could barely stand up, you see how they insert her name in the most bizarre way, and suddenly they can get eyes on the story. So they're saying one thing, but they know it is really the other. Everybody knows that is that the Duchess of Sussex is more than relevant. She's actually a trendsetter. She's a trailblazer in some circles. So yeah, um, they can say that, but it has no truth to it. There's no merit to their side of the story. Okay. So Meghan McCain slams old, archaic, and deeply irrelevant monarchy. I'd rather eat a muddy tire than watch Charles and Camilla. That was back in 2021 before she worked for the Daily Mail. Meghan McCain memoir, Bad Republican, flopped so hard that it sold fewer than 300 copies. Fewer than 300 copies. That's embarrassing. 300 copies? Are you serious? That is embarrassing. 300 copies. I wonder if they gave her any advance for that book. It makes me wonder if she got any type of advance because that is a miserable showing. As a matter of fact, it's enough to make you, I don't know, grab your baby and drive out to the cemetery and and lay the book on your father's grave. You know what I'm saying? It's enough to make you want to grab your child and go out to the cemetery and carefully place the book face up, facing out so that people can see that the title and everything. It's enough to make you take that book and place it on your father's headstone. So even in death, he can be embarrassed of his daughter. He can have no peace of mind. Even in death, he's embarrassed of his daughter. Yep. Even in death, he is humiliated. How embarrassing. The man who had to beg the View to give his daughter a job. Now, let's talk about something fun, a little shady, fun. Uh, was that she bought at least 297 of them and passed them out. I love it. So, do you remember that dress? I think that was the interview in The Cut, was it? Right? The San Ysidro Ranch, Montecito, California. So that's where they had the magazine shoot. They went to that ranch. Oh my goodness, I cannot make out the name of that dress, but let me see if I can. Uh, cannot make that out. Oh, I don't think it's there. I don't think the name of it is there. Oh well. Anyway, beautiful dress. Well, that is the Marchioness of Weymouth. Is that what they call her? She lives at that Longleat house. She is a an aristocrat. Her father is Nigerian, her mother is English, And even though uh, there was all this shock and criticism, well, the Marquise, well, actually, his father had the title, and then the title was passed down to him when his father died. But they live in the Longleat estate, right? Longleat House. And I think they have like the big country house with a private zoo and all that kind of stuff. So um, I love that dress. It is beautiful and it looks great on her. Oh, the Marchioness of Bath. That's it. The eighth Marquise and Marchioness of Bath, Longleat House. That's where they live. That is the house that was featured on a milk ad with Peter Phillips. And the Chinese milk company did not ask permission to use the um, facade of Longleat in their advertisement. And of course, the implication was that Peter Phillips, the Queen's grandson, lived in that beautiful manor house. It is like a Jacobean, I think, is the style um, trophy house. But yeah, it's the Marquise and the Marchioness of Bath, Longleat House, a masterpiece Elizabethan architecture that contains one of the most significant private collections in Britain. Her name is Emma, Lady Bath Emma. And what's interesting is that her father also enjoyed that black girl magic. So, like father, like son. And his father was quite eccentric. I saw a documentary about them one time when they were doing some like a makeover at Longleat. And yeah, his father was a bit of a hoot. But yeah, so interesting family. And the other thing is, Emma also does like lifestyle things, the kitchen, stuff around the estate. Like right here, it says using the atmospheric backdrop of the house historic kitchen, Emma Marchioness of Bath has created an exciting attraction celebrating more than 440 years of cooking and recipes creations at Longleat. Large Kitchen and their team of cooks and chefs have been at the heart of Longleat House for centuries, creating meals for no fewer than 16 generations of the Tyne family, or the Thine family, as well as several kings and queens along the way. Inspired by this rich and delicious history, Emma has created a selection of amazing recipes and mouth-watering treats using the very best produce which visitors can purchase. So yeah, they have like an entire money making machine with that house. That house makes money, which is the point of it. Um, is that they're able to sustain themselves there because the property does very well. I'm gonna share a couple of pictures of her. But yeah, she's beautiful, very beautiful. Um, Well, check it out. This is what I was saying. Let's get a little petty. Look at who she's greeting with that beautiful dress. She even has her head kind of cocked to the side, like, "Hey, you remember this one, don't you? You remember this one, don't you? Huh? Baltimore? You know this dress, don't you? It's the same one that Meghan wore. Yeah. How you doing? How you doing?" I'm sure William would be too stupid to pick up what she was putting down, but how you doing? Okay, let me share those photos that I promised. Let me share those photos that I promised. Yeah. Okay. There she is. And here you can see some of the stuff they have available. Oh, I think I see carrots, leeks, strawberries, uh, eggs fresh from the hen house, bruschetta. Oh, yeah. She's doing it. She is doing it. And it's not unusual for her to be on the cover of several magazines. She has done several magazine covers. Okay. Oh, are you having trouble? I'm sorry. Logged in under what's live? Uh oh, B. Smith. Oh, I love B. Smith. She was a trailblazer. She had a restaurant, B. Smith in New York was great. Cookbooks and magazine, a cooking show. She did it all. She passed in 2020. Yes, I remember B. Smith. Yeah, very beautiful lady too. Very beautiful, very talented. Problem. Isn't that interesting? The Republicans are usually the ones that are so anti-monarchy, right? And yet, because of the politics of the day with the Brexit and the MAGA and this whole right-wing movement, they have gravitated toward the royal family. They have gravitated toward um, William and Charles and all that kind of nonsense. Okay. Went to a restaurant in New York. Oh my goodness. Wow, that is great. That is great. Uh, okay. Is Gwendolyn Daniels having a problem? I don't want to see her. Oh yeah. Nobody, yeah, I haven't blocked anybody in ages, so no. Nobody's been blocked. Baron Buttercup is a Nepo baby. She helped no one but tried to get fired a black hairdresser. Really? That's right. She does have a is it a black stepsister, right? Or sister-in-law? I think it's stepsister. I forgot about that. The McCains adopted someone, didn't they? And that caused a lot of controversy when her father was running for president. Oh, let me see. I lost one son. He was 10 years older than the baby when I found Baron, you, and everyone here. Life came back to me. Oh, peace and joy. I appreciate you sharing that. And I promise you, it always makes me feel good to know that anybody can, come here and see this as a safe space. I That means a whole lot. So, um, I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you shared that with us. So, thank you. All right. Oh, what did I do there? Okay, I got to take this away. Let me take her away. So let's see. Meghan wore the green dress for Variety, and a year later, the Marchioness. Oh, it was for Variety. Okay, so it was for Variety, and a year later, the Marchioness attends an event where William was there. She wore the same dress. I'm not saying it's a copy because it might be just a coincidence, but since trolls like to link topics, did they say the Marchioness copied Meghan? Well, either way, I just hope William noticed. I'm just kind of petty, and I hope William noticed, and I'm sure he did because he is totally obsessed with the Duchess of Sussex, and I am sure that anything that Meghan wears, he probably keeps track of it more than just about anybody. So I wouldn't doubt that Williams trying to figure out, where have I seen that dress before? Where have I seen that dress before? Meghan. Uh-huh. See there? Notice how he just cannot keep his eyes off that dress. I hate to think about it. I hate to think about it. Okay. Oh, really? I don't know who that is. Nate Burleson? Oh, okay. She's not black. She's South Asian. That sounds right. That sounds right. There's a law against moonshine. You know that. That's why they call it moonshine. There's a law against that, Church Nelly. I thought we discussed that. There she is, Mindy Kaling. And doesn't she look gorgeous? Doesn't she look gorgeous? That is beautiful. Okay, so she was at the Golden Globe Awards tonight, right? And somebody asked her about Meghan. Now, I don't know if I have the same interview that Beverly McCaskill mentioned, but I'm going to play what I got and we'll see what happens. Okay. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. You know what? Oh, there it is. I was about to say, I hope I saved it. Okay, I think I got it. But I had two of them though. That is interesting. I don't know where the other one is. But okay, so I'll just play what I got. Oh, I forgot about him. I forgot about him. Okay, so while this is going on, I'm gonna.
What did she cook? What's the best part of having her as a friend? Is it the chef? I mean, I had my baby, and I think I was like 2 months postpartum, and she texted me and was like, "Do you want to be in my show?" And when you hang out with Meghan, you know the food is going to be good, and so it's just nice to have someone else be cooking for me. So, and I was like, "I'll come to Montecito and have you cook for me and go to your garden," and that's what we did. We saw you in the Meghan Markle lifestyle trailer for Netflix. What did she cook? What's the best part of having her as a friend? Is it the chef? I mean, I had my baby, and I think I was like 2 months postpartum, and she texted me and was like, "Do you want to be in my show?" And when you hang out with Meghan, you know the food is going to be good, and so it's just nice to have someone else be cooking for me. So, and I was like, "I'll come to Montecito and have you cook for me and go to your garden," and that's what we did.
Okay, I found the other one, so let's do that one, okay? Let's do that.
You're going to appear on Meghan's cooking show? Yes. What was that like?
You know, I was just in my maternity leave, and Meghan texted me and said, "Hey, do you want to come be in my show and come out to Montecito and have me cook for you?" And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds perfect. I would love to do that."
How was the cooking? What did you guys eat?
Well, I think of myself as kind of a okay cook, and she unsurprisingly kind of blew me out of the water. But the thing about her recipes and being there was it was just really accessible. I mean, she has a garden, and she has a garden from like scratch, which I could never do, and chickens, which they would all die if I tried to take care of chickens. But other than that, I was like, oh, this is like very accessible.
How's Harry's cooking skills? As a Brit, I have to ask.
Harry was there, but he didn't cook for me. But I heard he's actually a pretty good cook. He knows his way around a kitchen.
That's impressive. Okay. Well, it's always a pleasure to see you. And who are you most looking forward to hanging out with tonight before you go?
I loved Black Doves. So Keira Knightley, like I absolutely loved. I hadn't seen her in a while in something, and to see her in that was awesome.
I loved it. I ate that up.
And I love.
Okay, so there you go. I have not seen Black Doves yet, but I heard it was pretty good. Don't tell me about it, but I do want to see it. So, yeah, that was Mindy Kaling spills on appearing on friend Meghan Markle's Netflix show. You know, the food is going to be good, she said. Mindy Kaling was nothing but excited when her friend Meghan Markle asked her to appear on her upcoming Netflix show during an appearance on E! Live from the red carpet. Oh, that's the one I probably need to get. I don't think either one of these are E. Let me see if I can find the one from E. I want to see if I can find her on E. Nope, nope, nope. Because I don't think I have the same interview that Beverly McCaskill mentioned. Best extra, is that this? No, that's not it. E is for entertainment television, right? Extra, extra. Okay, I'm not finding it. Okay, that's not it. Oh, wow, a few people wore gold tonight. It seemed to be the color for the night is gold. Yeah, sorry, I'm not finding the other interview. Is that on it? Nope, that's something else. Yeah, I'm not finding the other one. Otherwise, I would love to share it. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Let me take a look at a couple of your comments before we move on. She looks beautiful. Yes, she does. Oh, that the first one? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for letting me know that. Let me see. I agree. They are pretending to sound positive and hoping to get a scoop that they can be snarky later for the UK press. You know, and listen, my friends from the UK, I love you guys. I really do. But I get triggered when I hear an English accent anywhere near Meghan or talking about Meghan. I'm always thinking that they're going to attack her. I always think that there's some attack coming. I'm thinking that there's going to be something snarky or cheeky or rude or unnecessarily cruel. And so when I heard that first reporter, or was it the second reporter, I was like, oh, I was like, oh, because I just assumed the worst. And I hate being that way, but it does trigger me. I get very triggered when I hear a reporter with an English accent. I'm just assuming that they're going to go after Meghan. Was it this one? Let me see. Let me see. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, I think it was this one.
I happened to read that I believe you're going to appear on Meghan's cooking show.
Yes.
What was that like?
You know, I was just in my maternity leave, and Meghan texted me and said, "Hey, do you want to come be in my show and come up to Montecito and have me cook for you?" And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds perfect. I would love to do that."
How was the cooking? What did you guys eat?
Well, I think of myself as kind of a okay cook, and she unsurprisingly kind of blew me out of the water. But the thing about the recipes and being there was it was just really accessible. I mean, she has a garden, and she has a garden from like scratch, which I could never do, and chickens, which they would all die if I tried to take care of chickens. But other than that, I was like, oh, this is like very accessible.
How's Harry's cooking skills? As a Brit, I have to ask.
Harry was there, but he didn't cook for me. But I heard he's actually a pretty good cook. He knows his way around a kitchen.
It's impressive. Okay. Well, it's always a pleasure to see you. And who are you most looking forward to hanging out with tonight before you go?
I loved Black Duck.
Okay. All right. So, cheers to Mindy. She handled herself very well. Well, Legs just said that, right? Because they want something that they can use later, something snarky or, something shady. Let me see, Baron. I feel the same way. I clench my teeth. Wait for a negative spewing of bile, especially if they are British journalists, and call her Meghan Markle instead of Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Yeah, I cannot help it. I get triggered. I get so triggered. The British tabloid media has made an impression on me, and not a good one. They have certainly made an impression on me, and I get very guarded. And even worse, if I think is like one of those Australian reporters, like the which one is it? The Sky News Australia. As soon as they start talking, I'm like, oh God, here we go. Here we go. So Meghan Markle felt she had more of right to speak than than Kate Middleton, because she was a self-made woman and seemed uncomfortable having to play second fiddle, source claims. Allegedly felt uncomfortable playing second fiddle, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is a Ellen Coughlin for Mail Online. I'm not comfortable with that because it really puts words in Meghan's mouth, things that she um I don't believe it. I really don't believe Meghan was preoccupied with what other people were doing. Meghan simply wanted to do what she hoped to do when they offered the what is it, vice president of the Commonwealth, Harry the president, Meghan the vice president of the Commonwealth. That was what the Queen wanted them to do. That is what they were hoping to do, was to use their platforms and outreach to the Commonwealth countries, which would have been so beneficial to the monarchy. It would have been a huge benefit for the Sussexes to represent the crown with the Commonwealth. And now I am so glad that they uh, left so that they wouldn't get stuck with that mess, because more than likely they would have done something where the Sussexes would have risked their popularity, they would have risked their integrity for the sake of the crown. They would have risked their brand for the sake of the crown. And now it's a non issue. We don't have to worry about that happening. But like I said, I'm not comfortable with this article because it puts words in her mouth. I have always been of the mind that I don't count other people's money. I only worry about what I've worked for. I don't care if somebody worked harder and has more, if somebody worked less and have more. It is none of my business. And so if Meghan is anything like me, she just wants to get on with her work, right? And not worry about what other people are doing. Like, it doesn't bother me that, let's say, the manager or the supervisor at some company, if that is their position, I'm happy for them. I don't care that they sit in the office and do nothing all day. That's none of my business. Let me work, let me punch the clock, and just pay me for the time that I've spent there. I don't care about what other people are doing. And I think that that is a very, very American mentality, is time work equals time paid. Or, you know, you do you, I'm going to do me. That very independent spirit. I just couldn't imagine Meghan sitting around thinking about the advantages that Kate has. I mean, if that was the case, then likely she would be thinking, oh, I should be queen, not Elizabeth. I don't think that entered her mind. I don't buy that she felt a certain way. I think that Kate was rude to her, right? And I believe William was rude to Meghan. And that is where the conflict began, is that they were being very rude and they were expecting that American actress to stand on ceremony. And Meghan just never had that sense of deference to someone younger than her, right? And Harry made it very clear, you do not curtsy to anyone in this family but my grandmother and my father. Aside from that, don't. That was what Harry instructed her. Don't. And Will and Kate, that's what's missing from this conversation, is that Will and Kate were trying to break her, was trying to train her to I guess advert her eyes or divert her eyes whenever they walked into the room, and for her to stand on ceremony, and that just wasn't going to happen. That's what I believe. So all of this crap about what Meghan found out, listen to some of the lies that they tell. Meghan found out Harry's not going to be king, so she wasn't interested. Meghan found out she wasn't going to get paid, so she wasn't interested. Meghan found out that she would have to walk behind Kate, so she wasn't interested. If you don't hear Meghan say that, then just assume it didn't happen. Okay? Just assume it didn't happen. I mean, rules are rules. And if you go to an institution, right? And this dining room is reserved for, I'm saying, like, if you're in any institution, if there's a doctor's dining room, then the rest of the medical staff doesn't dine in there, right? That's for the doctors. If there's a room for the administrators and the doctors, well, then they're the only people in there. I wouldn't start working someplace and be like, I wonder why I can't dine in there. I should, I mean, come on, it doesn't make sense. Most of these things doesn't make sense. It's always designed to make it seem as though Meghan's sitting somewhere pouting about something and that she didn't understand something and she doesn't know our ways. And I mean, give me a break. Everybody saw Downton Abbey. We all saw Downton Abbey. There's an upstairs, a downstairs. There's your space and my space. Let me see here. Lex says, so is a negative to be independent? Subserviency is okay. Apparently, apparently. That's it. They were afraid of her independence. Thank you so much for the super chat, Legs. They were so afraid of that independent spirit. They meant to break her of those American ways. Yeah, if you're very confident, you don't care about rules. Because the thing is, when you wake up in the morning, if you're Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, if you're Meghan Markle, the actress, if you're Meghan Markle, the humanitarian, when you wake up in the morning, you're that person. You go to lunch, you're that person. You come home, you feed the dogs, you're still that person. It doesn't matter what other people think. If you're a confident person, it does not matter. Uh, Very true. Very true. All right. Let me a lot of good comments. I hate to miss any of them. Oh, yeah. By leaving, it exposed the truth about how racist the royal family is. You got that right. I got that right. They didn't really mean for her to talk about that. Okay. Lex says, make it make sense. So Meghan did debase herself for the monarchy. She is insolent, yet now Meghan could do her projects in that family. Didn't debase herself. You mean by kissing up to those people? Well, according to Harry, William and Kate, remember they had dinner, and Meghan had on her torn jeans and barefoot. Harry's barefoot, and you know. Oh, by the way, thank you for the super chat. You someone who could hear that story and think, well, why didn't Harry tell her to dress up, right? But Harry had not had dinner with Will and Kate. Harry had never been invited to their house. And that was new for William and Kate to come to his house. Harry said that he was waiting for an invitation from his brother and sister in law so that he could come and have dinner. He thought he might have dinner with them. And they never invited him over. And he said, well, they're fixing up their apartment at Kensington, so and so, so and so. Maybe they'll have me over once that's done. And it just didn't happen. So when we saw Harry visit with Michelle and Barack Obama, that was probably the first time that he had actually been in that room before. Because remember, he was just as surprised as Meghan when he saw how they were living. So Will and Kate show up looking like it's Easter morning, and they're just incredibly disappointed because Meghan greets them with a big hug instead of a curtsy. Those people do not deserve the Duchess of Sussex. They just don't. They do not deserve her. Uh, let me see here. Yeah, there are no accidents. I do believe that the Harry and Meghan's relationship is destiny. I do believe it was meant to happen. I do believe that was, an escape from that institution for Harry. Meghan was looking for a bigger platform, right? I do believe Meghan was looking for a bigger platform. I believe that Meghan was done with acting and that she wanted to move on to something else. But service was always at the center of whatever she would do in the future, right? Service was at the center of it. I'm convinced of that. And so, what greater platform could you have than being a royal princess? I mean, you look at what Diana was able to do with it. I mean, Diana is the model of what is possible with a platform in that institution. And Diana was able to do more with that platform than probably anybody else ever. And so it was so many pieces that came together. And there were promises to Harry and Meghan about what their role in the family would be. They had promised. And as soon as Meghan made it look easy, as soon as Meghan got all that attention, then suddenly those promises were meant to be broken. And you know who initiated the attacks. We already know that comes from Kensington Palace. Kensington Palace is like the epicenter of tear her down. She's not one of us. Meghan made it look too easy. Oh, God. I've been seeing articles that say that Meghan could have had it all and could have done what her and Harry are doing in actual monarchy. According to this article, she couldn't. She couldn't outshine. Exactly. They were not going to let her do that. They were not going to let Meghan represent that institution. They would rather burn it all down than to have Meghan be the face of that institution. Just like in the movie Trading Places. Do you remember when Valentine was in the bathroom and he overheard the Duke brothers and they said, "Well, what about Valentine?" And was it Mortimer that said, "Do you think I would have an N-word running our family business?" You remember that? Do you remember that? That went through me. When I heard that, that went through me. And I could imagine that that institution, and I'm not going to include the Queen because the Queen never worried about anybody outshining her. That was not her problem. That was Charles' problem. Charles was the one who was insecure. The Queen was of the opinion, I'm the Queen, and that's all to it. She didn't care because at the end of the day, she was still the Queen. But very fragile, insecure Charles could not tolerate and still cannot tolerate being the least important person in the room. He just won't stand for it. So, what did he do? He decided, well, better to wake up with a horse head in the bed. Better to wake up with a horse head in the bed than to be unpopular or to have somebody outshine me. So just like any mafioso, he woke up with a big horse head in his bed. Big old horse head. Uh, uh, anyway, I just couldn't resist. But thank you so much for your comment. Hello, Ivy here. Ivy, I didn't know you were here. I posted 3 times, only one showing. I will just listen today. You guys, I think that there's a lot of messages coming in like really fast. I think they're coming in really fast because there is a ton of messages today. I mean, comments today. Let me see. Yeah, everything's coming in real fast. So, and okay, I can't stop and look at all of these anyway because I'm getting so far behind. I'm on, what slide am I on? I'm only on what slide am I on? The 9th slide. Oh, that's not so bad. Lorraine Esmeralda A. Thomas, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for being here. Okay. Also, me being petty, I'm just zooming in so that you can really take a measure of the 2 royal princesses, duchesses, and of course now one of them is the Prince of Wales. And FYI, out of all of the Fab Four, Meghan is the oldest. I'm just saying, Meghan is the oldest. No shade, but Meghan is the oldest of all 4 of the, Fab Four. Lorraine Esmeralda Thomas says Meghan would not have survived that institution. She would have suffocated based on her personality and goals. Hear, hear. Hear, hear. I agree with that. She would have really have been crushed under the weight of that institution, and it would have been very intentional. Yeah, she's not the sharpest tool in the shed, that's for certain. Okay, now here's some interesting cartoons. Meghan Markle and the British press. Oh my God, that house is on fire. We have to help, says Meghan. Is anyone there? Cough, cough. Help us. And then the other victim says, we're over here. Cough, cough. So Meghan risked herself running in there to rescue them from the fire. Cough, cough, it's over. You're okay. And what does the British tabloid media say? Meghan drags kids out of warm house in the winter. Meghan drags those kids out of that warm house in the middle of the winter. How dare she? She literally yanked those would-be victims of a house fire from the home and brought them out to the safety of the street, only for them to suddenly find themselves without heat or shelter or even a blanket. No wonder people don't like her, right? Let me see. Lorraine says Meghan would not have. Oh, I'm sorry. I saw that one already, didn't I? Okay. Now, there's that one. Now, let me show you the next one. Your Highness, thank you so much for coming. Oh, well, it was Kate. Oh. Now, let me translate that for you. We love to help those in need. Hey, Louis, do you know any Christmas carols? Huh? I guess he talks just like his mama. So then Louis starts singing, Christmas is a time to care, but only if a camera's there. And Kate responds, of course, ha ha ha, which is translated, oh my gosh, where he got that from? Where's he got that from? So that shows the difference in how Meghan is perceived. Meghan saves children from a house fire, and all they can think of is how damaging it is that she removed those kids from the warm house out into the cold. And if you look at the small print, it says witnesses say her face was covered in soot, but you could tell she was smirking. And then the other article says, could Kate's new hat end war in the Ukraine? I don't know who made this cartoon, but that is brilliant. Witnesses say her face was covered in soot, but you could tell she was smirking. That's Meghan, of course. But as for Kate, you know, the magnificent Kate, could Kate's new hat end the war in Ukraine? Surely it would. If anybody could end the war in Ukraine with a hat, it's Kate Middleton. I'm sure of that. Yeah, only Kate Middleton can end the war in Ukraine with a hat. I don't know where I got these from, but I've had these for a while. Okay, let me go here. Now, Kate Middleton and Prince Harry deemed too boring for NBC. Prince William slammed wife Kate Middleton in biography. She was a let me see. Prince William slammed. Wait a minute, is that real? She was dull, cold, with dirty hair. That was from 2011. I find that one weird, but okay. Professional Kate Middleton lookalike admits she finds Duchess of Cambridge frumpy and boring. Kate Middleton's wardrobe now less interesting than Prince William's officially. How that royal makeover working out? Not good. So that is a collage of some articles on Kate Middleton. This is the way they used to report about her before they decided to go after Meghan. Forging a Princess, how generations of steely social climbing matriarchs shape Kate Middleton's character. In other words, that type of social climbing mentality runs in the family, so to speak, kind of runs in the family. In addition to that, it says the corporate clients loved her, especially the way she always seemed to be showing off her slender legs in tight blue shorts as she served gin and tonic and lunch. She was working as a deckhand on a 72-foot sailing boat in the Solent, looking after important clients for mighty companies such as Barclays, BT, Nokia, Toshiba, and Volkswagen. The year was 2001, and everyone referred to the tall, slim girl earning 40 pounds a day as beautiful Kate. Now, that was Kate Middleton. You wouldn't know it because the derangers and some of the trolls, they want you to believe that Meghan was the yacht girl. I don't know how many times they have referred to Meghan as the yacht girl, which is strange because this is the Daily Mail. You can still find that article where it clearly says that Kate is the yacht girl. The only way that they can really build up Kate is to try to destroy Meghan. Kate Middleton feels exhausted and trapped over enormous workload after Meghan Markle and Prince Harry effectively threw the Cambridge children under the bus by quitting, as royal sources tell Tatler. Now, the Tatler, and if anybody is interested in the Tatler article, I can share it with you because the one that they tried to hide from the public, remember they took about a third of the article away because William and Kate found it disparaging. I found it. I found the entire article. Um, and it said how William seemed to see Carol Middleton almost like another mother or surrogate mother or something like that. That's the one that what's her name? Is it what is her name? I forget. Pontiac, Posnack, or whatever her name is. That reporter that was so anti Meghan and Harry, and then after they ruined her life and ruined her ability to sell her recent book, now all of a sudden she's seeing things clearly, and it's the palace that is the culprit. Is it Anna Potomac? I forget what her name is. But anyway, people also read, see there, perspective. Kate Middleton earned her sick leave. Get a grip, people. They have been setting up something. And I'll share a little bit more of that with you soon. Let me see. Esmeralda Dillon. Thank you so much for 8 months membership, Baron. Now Kate was looking for a come up, not Meghan. Kate was looking for a come up, not Meghan. Thank you so much for your comment. All right. Now, the very top comment there, that's actually that article. It said, Meghan, who is married to Prince Harry, felt she was self-made woman, whereas Kate didn't really Kate hadn't really had her own career, an insider told the Telegraph. So what I started talking about, where they said that Meghan, felt like she deserved to be able to speak more than Kate, that was part of the article. And at the bottom, Duchess of Sussex, 42, was allegedly uneasy with the Prince and Princess of Wales being superior royals in the palace hierarchy when she joined the royal family. Again, that is what sources say. And that is a spin from the palace. That is a spin from the palace. I believe that with the leaking and the briefing, they want the public to believe that Meghan was confused. She didn't understand our ways. She didn't understand the hierarchy. She couldn't understand why she couldn't just do this and just do that. It is called revisionist history. They are slowly and methodically rewriting the history of events. That's what they've done with Princess Diana, and that's what they intend to do with Meghan and Harry. They are rewriting the history. If it takes them 50 years, it takes 50 years, but they intend for there to be one side of the story, and that is what makes the monarchy looks good. That's the side that they're going to tell, which is why they won't stop talking about the Duke of Windsor, and which is why they won't stop talking about Wallis Simpson, the Duchess of Windsor. You would think that that had just happened last week because they keep talking about it. And depending on the narrative that is necessary, they will change and tweak the story, but essentially it always reads the same way. He was a traitor to his country. He was a Nazi sympathizer. She was some temptress that learned something wild and intimate while she was touring the Orient or whatever that was. They said always that. Okay, so just for a little context, I brought out some of my oldies but goodies. Kate Middleton, lazy ways rubbing off on Prince William. Duke refuses to something something. Kate Middleton and Prince William are notorious for not footing their fair share of the royal workload. But the latest news is horrifying. That was, what was that, 2022? Over here. Yeah, was that 2022? No. That was, I think it was 2022. Okay, so over here, Kate Middleton dislike laziness. Duchess could do more. Dislike for laziness. Duchess could do more. Kate Middleton is disliked for being lazy. The Duchess of Cambridge is one of the most popular members of the British royal family. We all know she's lazy. She's so lazy she didn't even put underwear on that day. That's why I've got that little red box there. She's so lazy she couldn't be bothered putting her knickers on. That's how lazy she is. When you're too lazy to put your drawers on, you lazy. And she's too lazy to put her drawers on. She just can't be bothered. And I'm pretty sure whoever her dresser or glam squad, they probably say, Your Highness, you know you ain't got no drawers on. She don't care. She don't care. She prefers it that way. So she just walks out. That's it. Kate Middleton. Anyway, I'm done with that. Let me go to the next one. And what do you do? Queen wants Kate Middleton to get charity job to counter claims she is work shy. Do you guys see a pattern here? Do you see the pattern? I mean, I know I shared this before, but I'm doing it again just for context. They don't want Meghan to do anything, but Kate, who they are pretending is so busy raising the next king, hasn't ever done anything, ever. She has done the least amount of work. 11 engagements in 365 days. And don't tell me any crap about cancer. The Queen was 90 what years old and dying of cancer and was able to do more work than Kate. Philip, with his heart disease and otherwise pretty awful temperament, was still able to do work, but not Kate. I'm no weighty Katie Middleton proves she's a working girl by posting glossy pictures on her family business website. She literally pretend as though she was doing work with her family. If that business, what they call it, Party Pieces, was dependent on Kate Middleton, not only would they have gone under, they would have been homeless. Kate's tricky year, how being broody turning 35, and the danger of being overshadowed by Harry's charismatic girlfriend could prove testing for the Duchess in 2017. They saw that coming. You see, that article is from January 2017. Now, I don't think I've ever shared that one before, but I'm sharing it now. It was obvious to everybody in 2017 that the very dynamic Meghan Markle was going to work circles around her. Meghan had already proven herself to be hardworking with her blog and the fact that she had worked with the World Vision, the USO, and that the thing at the United Nations. All of that before she even met Harry. So it was clear to everyone what she was capable of. And the British press, well, at least they pretended to celebrate that. They were so excited. Someone you should know. I remember that article. Someone you should know. Let me see if I can find that one. Do I still have that? Anyway, the article celebrated Meghan's accomplishment and hard work. And those same newspapers, and I believe it was the Sun that was celebrating Meghan. It's hard to believe the way that they wrote about her with such excitement and anticipation. Now, all of a sudden, she's a whole nother person. And even worse, they want you to believe she's always been that person. Okay. Oh, gosh, I wish I could find that one. And I think I did a video with that article too. I just cannot remember the headline. If I can remember the headline, I could find it. Oh, well. And so you can see there, Kate's work ethic slammed as Duke of Gloucester, 79 years old, completes more engagements than Princess of Wales. I repeat, and this is before the surgery, 79-year-old Duke of Gloucester has completed more work than Kate Middleton. Half his age, and probably at that point, 1/3 the work. But listen, there's an explanation for that. Because she is raising the next king. And the fact that she has 62 servants to share with William should not, lead you to believe that she has it easy. You could exhaust yourself bullying people around the house. That's exhausting. Let me see. When she went to Africa that time, where did she go? Let me see. It was the one with the water project. It wasn't Save the Children. I think it was World Vision, I think it was. Right? World Vision. Oh, I found it. I found just what I was looking for. Yep. Okay, let me show you. Okay, give me a second here. World Vision. That's the one. Huh. Okay. I think this is it. Another reason to love Meghan. Meghan Markle is the true humanitarian, claims charity she worked with in Rwanda and India. Okay? And that was the Sun. I repeat, That was the Sun. The Rupert Murdoch Sun wrote that article. The Rupert Murdoch Sun wrote that article. It's hard to believe considering everything that has happened, but that came from Rupert Murdoch's son. So I would say it would not, you wouldn't go wrong if you went and found that article. Comparing it to the way the Sun and the Daily Mail treat her nowadays. Look at there. Charity campaigner who worked in India with Harry's bride-to-be, Meghan Markle, says the star is a true humanitarian. Laura Dewar of Charity World Vision traveled to India with the former Suits actress in January to fight gender inequality and has heaped praise upon the star for her work in her role as global ambassador. We've all seen that video. It's beautiful, beautiful video. And that's the trip where Tom Bowers said in his book that she brought a glam squad with her. There was no glam squad. And there is a photo of Meghan without a hint of makeup on, sitting in a classroom that the photographer actually snapped a picture of her where she's looking youthful, fresh, and beautiful. No makeup. None. Okay, let me take a look at some of your comments because I see some stuff going by me here. Okay. Did I do this one already? Kate was, oh yeah, was looking for a come up, not Meghan. Thank you. Uh-oh. I bet you never catch Elizabeth with no drawers on. The Queen always kept a new pair. Check. Thank you so much for that, Sean. So, are you saying that her knickers are in the museum? That she wears museum quality? The Queen was wearing museum quality. Well, they may have been passed down from Elizabeth I. You never know, because you know the Queen was very frugal. She was very frugal. She may have been wearing some that had been around since the time of Victoria and Albert. And you know that's bad when your underwear end up at the Victoria and Albert Museum. So, okay. Let me see. Let's see. The last sentence about her being philanthropic, they knew, had everything about her and her life. Amen to that. Oh man, I felt bad when Queen Elizabeth had the Duke of Kent get up on the stage with her with that bearskin hat on. You couldn't even see his face. I think he was with her to greet Trump. Rebecca English, the gatekeeper. I shared this with you yesterday. Why Kate needs to put her family, not the family. Wait, Kate needs to put her family, not the family, first. That still sounds weird, doesn't it? Kate needs to put her family, not the family, first. So I'm guessing that means her kids, right? And Willie, and not the crown. She has to put her family and not the family first. Let me know how that works out. That's one of those articles that is not going to age well. This is all a setup, you guys. This is all preparing people. It says right here, now she prepares for her 43rd birthday on Thursday, quietly with family and friends. Her children start back at school the day before. There will be much more. I'm sorry, there will be much for the princess to process. Um, she ain't coming back to work, y'all. She ain't coming back to work. She ain't coming back to work. This is all about her not coming back to work. Remember when Scammy in 2017-18 called Meghan a yacht girl that visits Epstein Island? We know how they project, so they knew about Kate, who told Scammy that. Thank you very much. That is an excellent point. That is an excellent point because I'm pretty sure that Hot Wheels had no idea about any of that stuff. Those were lines that were just like they were feeding lines to Thomas Markle. They were feeding lines to Scamantha. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for the super chat. Yep. Because every time Thomas Markle speaks, you could always see that it is scripted. That's why he's always squinting his eyes and looking off to the side or looking down at the table because it's scripted. Because he wouldn't remember to do that on his own. So they have to give him a script. Excellent point. Winsome Jones, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you for being here. Kate is trying to raise our future king, so it shouldn't be seen as not working hard. Richard Eden tells Palace Confidential after she was called a part-time royal by Omid Scobie and carried out just 128 engagements. Now, this was what Omid wrote in Endgame, along with the idea that she could possibly be racist. He also mentioned the fact that she was lazy, useless, shiftless, lazy. And as you can see there, thrown idle, ice work if you can get it. That was when William went skiing rather than to go to Commonwealth Day. Harry was at Commonwealth Day. Everybody else was there, but William, Kate, and the kids, they all went off to the mountains. On the day that is most important in the Queen Elizabeth calendar, they just decided they wasn't going to be there. We're going skiing. You heard? We're going skiing. Lazy. Lazy. I cannot say it enough. Lazy. Brave Kate returns to work. Now, that was back in September. This is another case of, my goodness, that didn't age well, did it? Rebecca English, Prince William has revealed he missed the Paris Olympics because he did not want to bring the pandemic home to wife Kate as she underwent chemotherapy. He was speaking to swimmers at a community pool to highlight their Royal Foundation work to boost access to swimming. What difference does it make whether you go to a swimming pool in the United Kingdom or whether you go to the Olympics? What difference does it make? There was no huge outbreak at the Olympics. I don't recall there being an outbreak. Kate went to Wimbledon. They have tennis in Wimbledon. She went to Wimbledon. Wasn't she afraid she'd catch something? As a matter of fact, she went just about any place she wanted to go, right? She went to Troop in the Colors. Her kids go to school and come home. There's no reason to believe they couldn't have picked up a bug. So what difference does it make? You know what the difference is? Lazy. Lazy. He just didn't want to go. He was not interested in going. She was not interested in going, so they just didn't go. And the gatekeeper Rebecca English had to write an article to cover for him. Rebecca English has been very useful. She quickly writes an article or she will tweet something to give them cover. She does not allow any, I'll give her credit for this. She does not allow negative comments to fester for long before she quickly goes in there and comes up with some reasonable explanation. Oh, nobody saw William come or go from the hospital while Kate was in there. Well, the thing is, the reporters, they all agreed that they would give them their privacy, and also it was for the privacy of the other patients. But when I was going to a doctor's appointment, just by coincidence, I'm not making this up, I was going to an appointment and I just so happened to look over and saw William driving himself to the hospital with his royal protection officer. That's Rebecca English. She has an answer for everything. I don't care how obscure it is, she has an answer for everything. So if you don't see William any place near the hospital, don't worry. She's got it covered. She's going to come up with a story that is going to give him all the cover that he needs. Now, I just want you to know this is the same Rebecca English who wrote on the, 17th, 18th of January, right after Kate was mentioned that she was in hospital for a non-emergency abdominal surgery. She said, William will move heaven and earth. He will do whatever it takes to be with Kate. And then we didn't see him. And we still didn't see him. And we didn't see him. Nobody saw him. There was no image ever of William walking in or out of that hospital, whereas Camilla was popping in and out like a jack in the box. No William. Isn't that amazing? And what's the common link? Rebecca English, who witnessed it or who spoke to the palace, and this is what they told her. And so here's the next cover. Almost half the public believes there is too much pressure. I'm sorry, I cannot say it without laughing. Okay, one more time. Almost half the public believes there is too much pressure on Kate Middleton to return to work following cancer battle. But over a third want Prince Andrew banned from royal Christmases. What does one have to do with the other? What does one have to do with the other? You mean to tell me you just randomly connect Kate Middleton refusing to work with Andrew and Christmas? Is that this past Christmas or next Christmas? And who are these people that want to ban Andrew? Show them to me. All three or four of them, show me. Okay, there's Charles, right? Camilla, William, and Kate. All right, so that covers it. Those are the handful of people that want to ban. It is too funny. They are serious, though. That's what gets me, is that they're serious. It'd be different if this was a joke or if it was made up, but they are serious. They seriously wrote, almost half the public believe there is too much pressure on that lazy, lifeless, limp, wet dish rag, Kate Middleton, to return to work following cancer battle. They make it sound like it was one of the Star Wars trilogy or whatever, like it was a prequel to Star Wars, like she literally had her lightsaber battling cancer. It was pre-cancer cells. Pre-cancer cells. And the queen, whose body was riddled with cancer all the way to her bones, worked more in 2022 than Kate worked in all of 2024. Period. There's no excuse for it. I say this freely. I don't care if somebody thinks I'm picking on her. She's lazy. And the only way they can give her cover is to drag Meghan. That's the only way they give her cover, is dragging Meghan. Other than that, she is the laziest human being that has ever drawn a breath. There's no way to account for it. Lazy. She does what she wants to do, not what has to be done, not what is expected, but whatever she wants to do. And they're okay with it. And why is that? Kate is trying to raise our future king, so it shouldn't be seen as not working hard, says Maureen. It shouldn't be seen as not working hard. And by the way, let me show you these dog biscuits I just got from her brother. Yeah, I got some dog biscuits from Kate's brother today, and they're great. Everybody should have them. Isn't it interesting how almost in the same breath he's able to tell you that Kate is not lazy, she's raising the next king. He also manages to, this is all in one breath. Kate is not lazy, she's raising the next king. Also, I think it's about time we have a discussion about the Middletons receiving proper titles. Oh, and by the way, I just got some new dog biscuits from her brother, James Middleton. Isn't that interesting? All of that he manages to squeeze into the same conversation. But why wouldn't he? I mean, he is up to his I was about to say something, but he's up to his chin. He's up to his chin with dog food or dog biscuits or whatever it is that James Middleton is plying him with. I mean, if you give him enough dog treats, he'll say whatever you want him to say. Yep, by the truckload. Just give him enough dog biscuits and he will sing for his supper. There he is right there. Look behind him. You see that? That's Richard Eden. And you can see those bags over his shoulder. That's no conflict of interest, is it? That's not a conflict. The fact that he has a mountain of doggy treats, cups, and marshmallows with Nazi insignias on them, none of that is important. He is fair and balanced. So don't pay attention to the man behind the green curtain. There's nothing to see here, folks. Just move on. Keep it moving. There's no conflict of interest. The fact that he's got a mountain of doggy treats for that rat that he's holding on to doesn't mean a thing. He is objective, fair, and just as any human being would be. I tell you, he's a cheap date, ain't he? You get anything you want from Richard Eden. All you got to do is give him some dog food. It makes me think he eats it too. You know what I'm going to end up doing? I'm going to do just like Beyonce. I'm going to take an old Dolly Parton song and remake it. Maureen, Maureen, I'm gonna beat your ass, Maureen, Maureen. Okay. Why Kate Middleton needs to put her family, wait a minute, need to put her family, not her, okay, this is always weird. It just sounds weird. Why Kate needs to put her family, not her family first. Wait, why Kate Middleton, why do I keep saying Middleton? Why Kate needs to put her family, not the family first in 2025. As the princess stoically returns to royal duty, Rebecca English reveals her plans for the year ahead and why her health and children will come first. And meanwhile, Kate is taking tennis lessons. That's what the article said. She's taking tennis lessons. She's going to the gym so she can build her strength up. She's taking tennis lessons and going to the gym. But you know what she's not doing? Working. She's going to do school runs, play dates, and she's also going to whatever, performances or athletic events that require her presence as a parent. But you know what she's not going to do? Work. She's doing all of that. But according to that article, she got time for tennis lessons, but she ain't got time to work because there's a whole team of doctors and two Filipino nurses, according to William, two Filipino nurses that are there to tell her when she needs to rest, or she tells them and then they tell her that she needs to rest. Joan Lawman, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. So there it is. SK says they are preparing their subjects that the lazy one will not be doing any work or even be seen in 2025. Next public wave will be the family outing at Easter Walk if Cammie allows it. Okay? That'll be the next time you see them is Easter. And if you look at the what's on the left side, you see there it's all stacked up. Why Kate needs to put her family, not the family first, right? Almost half the public believe there is too much pressure on Kate Middleton to return to work following her cancer battle. George, Charlotte, and Louis set to attend £59,000 a year Marlborough College, previously attended by her mother, Kate Middleton. And with that, she is done working for 2025. That's it. She has done all the work she's going to do for 2025. That's it. They have laid out the plan, and now all she has to do is just not show up. But she's going to go to tennis. She's going to go to the gym so she can build her strength up. I'm not making this up. That's what the article said. She's going to tennis practice, or tennis lessons. She's going to the gym so she can build her strength up. She's going to do school runs. She's going to go on play dates, and then she's going to, do whatever athletic events the kids have, any place where the other parents will be. But what she's not going to do, and don't you all ever assume that she's going to work, because she's not. And the reason why she doesn't have to work is because she's gotten all the cover that she needs from Rebecca English and Richard Eden. The Daily Mail has got her covered. Yeah, it's probably part of the phase out. Let me see. Why not support the Cancer Treatment Center on the news? because there is no cancer. There were precancer cells that, required her to take 172 days away from the public. Even though they said there was no cancer in the beginning, and they waited from January 17th to March the 22nd for them to mention cancer. Just like Charles didn't have cancer until February the 5th. Yeah, Charles didn't have cancer until February 5th. Kate didn't have cancer until March the 22nd. And well, never, I'm not going to keep going. Oh, man. Kate will have a no work 2025. Kate will have a no work 2025. Now, so far, I've been doing a lot of talking. I have to get the Ministry of Hacks in here. You know that. It is not complete without the Ministry of Hacks. So let me cue that up for your consideration. Morning.
And happy Sunday and welcome to a snow-covered UK. I might post a little photo here as evidence no one is going to be going anywhere today unless it's on foot. The Daily Mail are absolutely setting Kate up for a no-work 2025. And this poll from their friends is just an example of how they're doing that. I think the bigger question is the 47%, not almost half, of the public that reveal they think there's too much pressure on Kate. What about the other 53%? I would like to know what they think. I am assuming, if we work in percentages which are from 100, 53% think there's not enough pressure on Kate to return to work. But what do I know as a simple human being? I also think that these briefings are coming directly from Buckingham Palace. The Daily Mail is going to set the agenda for Kate going forward. And my biggest gripe, and I'll do it quickly so this film is short, this video is short. Kate can be absent from public life, but can still give us evidence that she's working with cancer survivors, cancer charities, via Teams calls, Zoom calls, etc., to show that she wants to put her support out there. She truly recognizes that her cancer is something that can help charities and other cancer survivors. So she's going to demonstrate that she's using her own experience to help other people. Guess what, guys? You're not going to be seeing any of that in 2025. What's really going on? Comments are open. Let me know what you...
Well, that is Martin of Ministry of Hacks. He's available on TikTok. All right, then. Princess of Wales hosts her first official work meeting in 9 months, just days after revealing in an intimate video she had finished chemotherapy. You remember that? That was when she went walking through the woods, walking through fields of grain and wheat, and she hopped on a bale of hay. She was rolling on the ground, making out with Willie the Weirdo. All of that took place. It took all that. Instead of her just, taking a cue card and saying into the camera, I'm done with chemotherapy. I guess I can go back to work. It was important to get a whole film crew and her children and her husband and walk through the forest, jump over sand dunes, several costume changes. There were hair, makeup, there were lighting, all kind of stuff needed. As they say, it takes a village. They did all of that to tell you that Kate is ready to come back to work, right? I just finished chemotherapy. So With 11 engagements under her belt in 2024, she's done with work, and I think you can count Christmas Day as one of those engagements. She's done with work for 2024, and now fast forward to 2025, and they're letting you know she ain't doing jack nothing. As you can see right there in November, Kate Middleton's set to step back from public life again. She don't know whether she's coming or going. She don't know whether she's coming or going. Or should I say, the staff at Kensington Palace don't know. Buckingham Palace don't know. You know who knows? Those two Filipino nurses. Those two Filipino nurses are the only ones that know when and where Kate is going back to work. And so far, it ain't looking good. They're the only ones that know. I'm getting dizzy from Kate not going to work. Really, I'm starting to get vertigo trying to see whether or not Kate is going back to work. It's enough to make you want to hurl. Is she going back to work? That's anybody's guess. I'm just going to say no. Yeah, I'm just going to say no. Let me see here. Oh, okay. I know what I'm looking for. As you can see, I had a lot to get off my chest, but I was getting a little bit frustrated with this whole weekend attack on the Duchess of Sussex. So I thought it was very important to shed a little light on some things that have, I think, deliberately been overlooked. So there we go. Those are the two Filipino nurses. William told someone in the crowd one day, how is Kate? And he said, oh, no, she's well looked after. She has two Filipino nurses. Now, that was very Archie Bunker of him, wasn't it? That was very Archie Bunker of him to point out that William has two Filipino nurses. I don't think most people would have noticed, or at least I don't think most people would have mentioned it. But William took the time to point out that Kate had two Filipino nurses that looks after her 24 hours a day. I bet you in most homes in Britain, anybody who was found to have cancer cells have two Filipino nurses looking after them. When they go to work, they take their two Filipino nurses. They go to the supermarket, they take their Filipino nurses. They go to the farmer's market with William with a body double. Still, you take your two Filipino nurses, even for body doubles. No, I don't think anybody's ever seen them. I don't think anybody's ever seen them. Yep, that's a good point. I don't think anybody's ever seen them. Nobody but Willie the Weirdo. Maybe that's some fantasy of his. Who knows? They may not even exist. They may not even exist. Maybe William had tied one on and thought that they were Filipino. Maybe he had overindulged himself one day and just, thought everybody was Filipino nurses. Prince Harry's hatchet job taints the whole royal family in the eyes of the public. You know what I say? It's time for another hatchet job. That's what I think. It is time for volume 2 of Spare. Yep, Spare 2 Electric Boogaloo. That's what we need. We need Spare 2 Electric Boogaloo. Uh, um, it's the Okie. Okay, I see that. I'm not sure what that is. Is that um, any reference to baking soda? Might that be a reference to baking soda? Yeah, I think it's time for another book because that first book, along with what was it, the End Game? Oh, I thought the End Game was the most beautiful thing I had ever read since Spare. Now I got another soundbite for you. So, like I said, I am encouraged that people of all races and backgrounds are coming forward to defend Meghan. I am very encouraged by that. People of all races and backgrounds.
I am going to say this as kindly as I possibly can at 2:00 in the morning. If you watch the trailer for Meghan Markle's new show and you're mad about it, you need to talk to somebody. And it's not somebody here on this app. It is a professional, somebody to help you through whatever it is that you're going through, because there was nothing about that trailer that was offensive, hurtful, rude, or bothersome. The call is coming from inside the house. You need a therapist, and a really good one. I'm not kidding. Because tell me why I'm suddenly seeing on my timeline so many women like giving these think pieces as to why it's offensive that Meghan Markle would have a show about, I don't know, picking flowers and making delicious food. What is wrong with that? Is the new trend to be problematic about people being unproblematic? The truth is, you're not saying anything about Meghan. You're honestly just revealing yourselves, because there's nothing that she's ever going to do that's going to be good enough for you guys. Nothing. And that's because you're miserable and you need to get good therapists. Anyway, I wish you love and joy and happiness, because you clearly need that in your life, and you're upset that Meghan has that. I cannot wait for the show. I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, and that is Mandy. Mandy. Oh, is that right? Mandy. Oh, you know what? That is wrong. Mandy, the cruise planner. Mandy, the cruise planner. I misspelled it, but it's Mandy, the cruise planner on TikTok. There you go. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. I'm telling you guys, I know I sound a bit hyper, but I'm just like, I'm fed up with it. All of this negativity toward the Duchess of Sussex has kind of gotten under my skin. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm finna drag somebody. And this one right here, that is Kennedy. That's that new person that's from Fox News that they hired to write articles at the Daily Mail. Trigger warning. I'm not going to play it. I cannot play it. If you value your mental health, I'm going to just say stay away from it. She was particularly cruel. Even worse, it seems like she was trying to outdo Meghan McCain, and that's why I say stay away from it. Meghan McCain is just stupid. This one was deliberately cruel. So if you value your mental health, avoid Kennedy. I forgot what her whole name is, but it's Kennedy something. It's not worth it. I couldn't even listen to the entirety of it. That's how bad it was. But I just want you to see, I want you to see the mean girl who said those terrible things. It was actually worse than Meghan McCain. It really was. And it was on purpose. It was deliberately worse. So do not give her the engagement. Meghan Markle makes her own money, helps the poor. Kate Middleton takes public money from the poor. And that's the difference. That's a little something that I held on to for a while. I decided to share it today. But that's the difference. Kate takes money, takes public money to subsidize her non-working, lavish lifestyle. The money that she takes from the public, and that duchy, according to Graham Smith, that duchy it belongs to the public. These duchies, no matter what they say, those duchies are not the personal wealth of the king and the Prince of Wales. Those belong to the public. And if you want to hear the explanation for that, then go to Graham Smith and at Republic, and he explains it thoroughly. As a matter of fact, he has a podcast on the topic of the Republican movement and the workings of the royal family. He will explain it to you clearly. Let me see. Graham. There we go. Let me see if I can find it. Duchy. Let me see. Okay, I cannot find the short one, but he does give an explanation about that. Okay, never you mind. We'll keep it moving. But yeah, according to Graham Smith of Republic, those are not private property. Those duchies belong to the people. Period. Oh, okay. So listen, you guys, let me set this up for you. This is the person who wrote that article that I shared with you earlier. Let me go back to that for just a second. So this is her article. Elaine Coughlin, I think it is, for the Daily Mail. That's her article. Now, the tone of the article pretty much is based on insider information. What they say comes from sources, people close. So it is still the Daily Mail, and they're going to expect a certain type of article from their writers. But here she's not on the Daily Mail. She's on GB News, right? Can we all agree on that? She's on the GB News. She sounds a little different here. And she was actually praised for this visit to GB News.
Show called With Love, Meghan, is set to premiere on the 15th of January, featuring 8 30-minute episodes, bite-sized chunks.
Well, joining us now is royal and showbiz journalist Ellen Coughlin. Ellen, thanks so much for being with us. This is a bit of a surprise move from Meghan. Was anyone expecting a new series this year?
Yes, well, she kind of teased it last year, along with her lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard. So we were expecting something more from her. And actually, I think this Netflix series ties in perfectly to that brand because it's lifestyle. She's going back to her roots. This is what she used to do before she became a royal and met Harry. She had a lifestyle blog called Tig, which had over 3 million followers. And she was actually forced to close that down after she became became a royal, as well with her social media pages. So it's really nice to see her going back to what she does best and what she knows. And I think we'll see a really different side to Meghan.
Yeah, because I'm a bit confused, I must say, because she did obviously go through her humanitarian phase, her feminist phase, her talking about politics phase. I mean, some people were even talking about whether she wanted to be a Democrat politician. And now she seems to completely going back to that sort of influencer, homemaker, even dare I say traditional wife sort of vibe.
Can she do all of those things? They're all multifaceted women. I'm sure you have other interests besides GB News.
Show called With Love, Meghan is set to premiere on the 15th of January, featuring a show called With Meghan.
Okay, so you can see there was a very different tone in her visit to GB News compared to the headline of that article, a decidedly different tone. And she was actually very generous with Meghan, even though the host of that program was trying to be very condescending, dare I say shady. She kind of brought them back around. It's kind of what Jeannie Bond does from time to time. Jeannie Bond likes to play both sides of the issue when it comes to the Sussexes or when it comes to Meghan. But yeah, there you have it. That now, if all of the reporters, if all of the people, and I know that's not likely to ever happen, but if that was the type of journalism that you got from the Daily Mail, I doubt that I would even have a channel right now. I would have no need for it. I would talk about travel like I intended to before I started doing this. I would have no need for it because, as Meghan said, I wasn't expecting it to be easy, but at the very least, I was expecting it to be fair. And that's all Meghan wanted, was for it to be fair. And they confuse that with, or not confuse it, they deliberately manipulate what Meghan was expecting with what they have been giving us, which is bile and vitriol, hate, lies, gaslighting, brainwashing in some cases. That's what they have been giving us. If it was just some fair reporting, fine. But no woman that I know of, except for, I'm going to make an exception, a couple of exceptions. Hillary Clinton, if you take the total amount of vetting that she's been through, the abuse that she's been through, of course, you really can't make the comparison because it's not based on race. But in terms of the overall time, Hillary Clinton and Princess Diana, those are the only two other people. Oh, and Michelle Obama. Oh, Michelle Obama. So between the four of them, more or less, they have really been put through it. They have used Hillary, Michelle, to raise lots of money. Oprah. Oh, don't let me forget Oprah. Now, I'm not saying who's been abused the worst. I'm just saying over time, the amount of time that they have spent dragging those women through it. Those are the few that I can think of who's had it the worst, the absolute worst. And even though Princess Diana is deceased, even though she died under some mysterious circumstances in that tunnel in Paris while being chased by scooters and Fiats and all that kind of stuff, even though she's dead, they are still abusing her. They're still abusing her name. But in terms of the amount of time, I'm going to say that Diana definitely the longest. Meghan, I would say, let me see. The Obamas was in the White House for 8 years. So Meghan's 8 years, even though it seems like it's been a longer time, I don't think it has, but it has definitely been based upon race. That's at the very center of it. Anti-Americanism, that's part of it. Jealousy from those two misfits called the Welleses, right? That's also part of it. But it's been too much. Even if it was a year, it's too much. Because nobody needs to go through that abuse just to make people rich and just to satisfy the fragile egos of somebody like Will and Kate. That should not happen. And especially to the point where a family loses an unborn child. You have literally driven someone to the point where they have lost an unborn child because of the abuse from that institution and from the tabloid media. That really defines how brutal this has been. That really defines how brutal this has been. Now, this is it's 3 parts. Let me see. Meghan Markle is the epitome of the power of pause, moving in secret, not dimming your light, and having a bigger comeback. Hello. 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 And this is from Luxury Business Guru. Luxury Business Guru. Like I said, there has been a lot of support for the Duchess of Sussex, and I am inspired by how many people have been speaking up. I wish it was like this all the time. Let me see. That is, here we go.
For as long as I live, I will never, ever understand the Meghan Markle hatred. The last time I saw a concerted campaign, a concerted smear campaign like that, was during Diana. Now, the Diana smear campaign was awful, but the Meghan one, oh my goodness, it's been nearly 9 years, 9 solid years of hate, of relentlessness, of she's this, she's that, she's not the other. And it's even been proven that 99% of the stories that come out about her are absolutely lies. But guess what, though? I love that right now she's about to have the last laugh, and she is on her way to becoming rich, the very thing that they did not want from her. Isn't God amazing? Let's think about it. This is a girl who since age 11, she's been doing charity work. She would follow her mother to do outreach and charity work in homeless shelters. There are so many pictures of her. There was one time she was wearing a white ribbon to signify anti-Iraqi war. She was even shown holding up a little placard with her classmates. She protesting the war. That, you know, she just looked so cute doing that. And that was because her classmate, his dad was sent to Iraq or something. And Meghan felt that even with her tiny voice, she felt she needed to do something. We also know how she managed to write to Procter & Gamble to change their sexist ad. She's done charity works in 3 different countries in Africa. And the charity work she did was not the sexy charity work. She did something around period poverty. She did something around clean water, organizing an auction of the art of little African children. She did so much. Then she wrote, then even for as long as I live, I will never, ever understand the Meghan Markle hatred. The last time I...
Okay, that was part 1. There are 3 parts to that. Let us discuss the first part, shall we? I'm waiting for her to get billionaire status, We will celebrate. We need to love her more loudly. The hate needs to sit down and eat their crackers quietly. Thank you, Abia. Is it Solis? Celos? Thank you very much for that. Let me see. And he shouldn't. And he should not. And God bless Meghan for encouraging him to fight for what he believes in. I don't think that it's just one person's decision about how long they stay in this fight. And that's why, that's one of the reasons why the tabloids are targeting Meghan, because they feel like if they can target Meghan hard enough, that Harry will just throw in the towel. And so far, that has not happened. And I could only imagine that that has not happened because Harry has enough confidence in the love from his wife that he feels that he can stay in the fight, that he can complete this. And that's part of his life's work, is that he means for people to be held accountable. It's not about revenge, it's about accountability. They have taken his mother from him, and they've lost an unborn child. And I believe that they truly underestimated Meghan's resolve. They underestimated her character. They thought she was this very prissy, valley girl from California that doesn't really mean what she says and says what she means. But Meghan is an activist. Meghan is an activist. She has been since she was, 13 years old? Probably younger than that. That's why I say they don't really know her. They think they know her. They think that she's driven by profit and by fame and such. But there are some principles that are just so far more important than any material thing, especially when it comes to standing up for your family. So if they don't know her by now, they're going to know her when everything is said and done. Okay, so let me go to the next part of this.
Up her blog, The Tig. It was all food and lifestyle and travel and just being a girl, having a lovely time, being a young woman. And she had 3 million followers through her blog on Instagram. Now, here's the thing, and I'm so thankful that people took screenshots. She had 3 million followers while the royal family on Instagram had 600,000, literally 600,000. So she had, oh my goodness, she had 5 times more followers than the so-called royal family. That was how irrelevant they were. Now she joins the family. They then say to her, you got to take down your blog. You got to take down your social media. She complied. And then she joined the family. And then the smear campaign starts. The bots show up. The haters show up. People of a certain age and demographic decided they hated her. She doesn't deserve to be in that family. The family is exclusively reserved for certain types of people. And it went on and on and on. No, she didn't give birth to her children. She was lying about this. And then reporters, left, right, and center, they started on her. But guess what? I love karma. All the reporters that came against her either lost their jobs or they had been demoted to YouTubers. While my girl, 7 years later, this is 7 years of keeping her head down, pausing, regrouping, moving in secret. I remember when she launched her podcast and they had something to say, but guess what? The power of hate in making someone successful. Because guess what? Google doesn't care if the attention is positive or negative. What Google cares about is that this person is being spoken about. Everything she wears gets sold out. Then the one thing that I cannot forgive on her behalf was the lie.
Okay, that was part 2 of 3. I love her. I love her. She has the facts. No lies detected. She is telling the truth. By the way, Beverly McCaskill says, remember when she said in the show with Jane Pauley on Sunday morning that if she has to take all the hate, then so be it. I think her and Prince Harry have discussed the future of all of this evil. Yeah, I believe that they have had long discussion and that they have agreed to conduct themselves in a certain way, to see things through, and to give up on the idea of the United Kingdom as a place that they can go back and forth. They probably abandoned that. You have to kind of measure the environment and see what makes sense. And right now, life in the UK just doesn't make sense for them, because while the tabloids are playing this game of oh, will they or won't they be there, the amount of threats that Meghan and Harry have received, even before they left the United Kingdom, the amount of threats that they received has been probably 10 times, 20 times more than probably anybody else in that family ever, including Charles, right? And that's just a fact. I can tell you that anytime that there's a Black person involved, whether it's the President of the United States, the mayor of Chicago, or the governor of wherever, as soon as you throw a Black person in there, the type of threats expand like 10 to 1. It's just threat after threat after threat. And the thing is, the people that are making the threats, they don't even try to conceal their identity because, well, not all of them, should I say. You could always manage to trace some of them because they don't care who knows about the threats. They're very open about their hostility. It's always very different. It's always very different. Even that, what is his name? Masood, whatever his name was, Neil, whatever his name is, the guy that was in charge of anti-terrorism for the UK. He said he had never seen that level of threats before. So this is common. This is common. If you are Black, if you are of African descent, and you find yourself in a position of authority or any position, within a government, or in this case, the royal family, for some reason, it just brings out the worst in some people. It just brings out the worst. There were people that would go to, like, if Barack Obama ever went to like a rural area, all of a sudden, these gun-toting state rights people will stand there along the perimeter of whatever secure area because they have their right to bear arms. That is a assumed threat to the president. That's what they're doing. They want you to know that they're not afraid of Barack Obama, that they are willing to exercise their states' rights or whatever it is. They're sending a message. They wouldn't have done that to any other president. They wouldn't have done that to any other president. But because it was Barack Obama, and that's why Michelle Obama said that she could never forgive Donald Trump, because the rhetoric that Trump used against Barack Obama all those years before the 2016 election, whatever amount of threats they got prior to Donald Trump, once he started with that stuff that he was saying, it just expanded multiple times. It's a very serious thing. So I'm saying all of this to point out the fact that the Sussexes have not deviated from these lawsuits lets you know that they are very much in agreement and determined to see it through. They want to see it through. Now, how long that goes on, at any given time, we may hear about a settlement. But so far, I support them either way. Whether they want to settle or stay in it, I support them either way, because it will mean that so much of their hard-earned money is going to be lost to the lawyers. Whether they win or lose, it's still going to cost a whole lot. But money is not everything, and certainly not to Harry and Meghan. And you could say, well, that's because they got plenty of it. No, it's because they have principles, and they are standing on their principles. So let's look at or listen to the last part of this.
The person who made Meghan cry brought her flowers and left her a note. And despite that, when the truth then came out, because Harry had to write the book to explain their side of the story, when the truth came out, the haters were like, well, she must have blah, 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 blah. It was still her fault, despite the fact that this person let a lie fester for several years. And that lie was the beginning of the ramping up of the hate against Meghan. All I know is her show is going to be successful. You know why? People like me that like her, we're going to watch it back to back. People that absolutely love her, like me, we are going to watch it over and over and over again. And we're going to tell all our families and friends to watch. There are going to be watch parties. There's going to be tea parties. There's going to be avocado on toast with drink parties. Her haters, they're going to watch it 3 times. First, to write down their talking points. Secondly, frame by frame, just so they can take those evil pictures. And thirdly, to spread their evilness, they're going to watch it again. So win, lose, or draw, my girl is winning. And she's on her way to a massive brand, beautiful brand deals, product placement, books, more podcasts, films, red carpets. Oh my God. The future for her is so exciting. And I cannot wait. As she said herself, you thought, what did she say about being buried? Oh my God. You thought you could bury me, but you didn't realize that I was a seed.
Okay, so that was, what is her name? Let me see. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was none other than luxury business guru. Okay, so there you go. Like I said, they have really triggered something. If you guys thought I was being a little bit hyper or shall we say off the chain, it's something in the air. Something is going around. People are mad as hell, and they're just not going to take it anymore. So this is what happens when you push people too far. They react. And you would think that we're all exhausted from the recent election, but nope, we're just getting started. We're just getting started. Let's see. Lex says, could it be a way that they forced everyone to settle? No one has taken it this far. So how do we know how much they will get? We don't know how much Meghan got. It may be a narrative they set. Yeah. I'm just, the only thing I'm thinking of is the fact that the further it goes, the more legal costs there are on both sides. And as you know, if the amount of the win is it less than the offered settlement, then the person who loses, no, the person who wins have to pay for legal fees on both sides, or I forget how that law goes. It makes very little sense to someone from the United States where Rupert Murdoch had to pay out 787 million US dollars to just one company that they accused of tampering with the election. And I think they still have another case pending. So that's the kind of stuff I'm used to, is the winner takes all. But the law in the UK is very different. So I don't suspect that Harry is going to settle, but I'm just saying that if that were to happen, that I'm going to support him either way. I'm going to support him either way because he's doing the Lord's work as far as I'm concerned. And only the Lord can tell somebody like Harry when enough is enough or to keep going. It's not based on anything I say or think. It is what it is. So that's why I'm saying either way, I'm going to support him because it has generated so much hostility from those tabloids that if I could use the language that they use for Kate Middleton, mere mortals would have thrown in the towel by now, but not Prince Harry. Or brave Harry continues to fight, right? Isn't that what they say about Kate? They imply that she's I was about to say immoral. Uh, that she's more than a mere mortal and that she's brave and all that kind of stuff. I was about to call her immoral. Now that is a Freudian slip. Beverly says, Baron, I have said it before that there might be someone who does not like Murdoch and Lord Nappyhead and is probably behind supporting Prince Harry financially. Oh, you know what? You know what? That is interesting. That is interesting. Because definitely somebody had been footing the bill for Hot Wheels. So that is a possibility. Thank you so much for reminding us about that. So I'm just going to say that Will and Kate are a waste of time and that the monarchy, you know how they say, oh, at least we know that they're in a safe pair of hands. Nope, they're not safe. They're not a sure bet. The only strength that they have comes from Rebecca English, Robert Jobson, Tom Barrow, who else? Oh, Camilla Tominley. That's where they get their strength from. But without those people, they would be nothing. They would be nothing. If they had to run the government, if they had to micromanage, or even if they just, if they had to do some thinking, there would be no government. It would collapse in no time. They're not smart. They're not clever. They're not even interesting. And it takes a village, it takes a whole group of reporters just to make them seem like they're human, let alone it takes a whole group of tabloid reporters to make them seem like they're competent or capable, which they are not. They are two of the most useless human beings that I've ever seen in a position like that. Useless. They have no business at the position that they're in, except for the aristocracy. Because if it was a meritocracy, they wouldn't merit the right to be there. They wouldn't. That quiet power that they say that Kate has, non-existent. It's non-existent. It's so quiet she don't even make a sound. The tabloids do it for her. And it's got to be exhausting for them to try to explain or try to justify their position in that family or anywhere. Kate is good for throwing a look, but otherwise she's a mouse. She's a mouse. And William is all bluster. He's not tough. He's not strong. He's weak. Is that the picture where Will and Kate lost? Exactly. This is the occasion where they lost half the Commonwealth. They went on an all-expense paid vacation to the Caribbean. And by the time they got back, not only had they lost half the Commonwealth, but William came back with a hell of a bill. He had a bill that needed to be paid. How much was it?
That's Prince. Trenchtown wants $245 billion. That's what Trenchtown wants. $345 billion. Yes, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what Trenchtown wants. Yes. What do you mean?
All right. Thank you so much, Sean, for the super sticker. But yeah, not only did he lose half the Commonwealth, he came back with a bill. If you thought Andrew cost the royal family some money, according to Trenchtown, man, there's a bill for $335 billion. That's what Trenchtown mean. What do you mean? Oh yeah, exactly. They want to blame Harry and Meghan. They want to make it sound like they were guilty of elder abuse, but having to pay out millions of pounds to somebody that your son has never met for something that he didn't do. Now that is enough to drive you to an early grave. Thank you very much. That is the reason why Queen Elizabeth got an express ticket to the storm shelter over there at the St. Paul's. No, I'm sorry, at the St. George Chapel. That's how she got that ticket to the St. George Chapel. They wore her down. And take a look here. They won't miss an opportunity to throw Will and Kate's name in there, will they? They want them to seem as though they are taking it so hard about Tiggy's son, who tragically died in that thing that happened in New Orleans. Will's shocked at terror death of Powell. Really? They were that close? They were that close? King devastated over murder of Nanny Tiggy's stepson. And stepson? Stepson? Not her kid, but stepson? How long has he been part of her family? I'm just asking because I'm trying to gauge how close William, and Charles could have possibly have been. Isn't it something that they seem more upset about Tiggy's stepson than they do about Thomas Kingston? They seem more upset about Tiggy's stepson than they feel about Thomas Kingston. Isn't that something? I would imagine that they would have been more upset. Now, if William goes to this kid's funeral, but he didn't go to Thomas King, Constantine of Greece didn't go to that memorial service, right? Then I know something. Then there's something very strange happening, because it seems as though this is hitting them harder than Thomas Kingston. Very strange. They just make it up as they go along, don't they? Okay, well, you guys, I'm almost done. I have just one more slide. Oh, check it out. Check it out. That is Zendaya. Zendaya at the Golden Globes. She never disappoints. She understood the assignment. She never disappoints. She is giving you that Hollywood glamour. She is giving you that Hollywood glamour. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The color is perfect. Her hair is perfect. Everything's perfect. Hollywood glamour. I believe for that occasion, that is probably the dress. That is the dress. Never disappoints. Yeah, Zendaya has a certain flair, a certain style. And she definitely rules that red carpet. And you know, sometimes she can just seem so girly and fun and spontaneous, but when she puts on those fashions, it's like she's a whole nother person. Yep, she just got that certain something. As the tabloids love to say, she oozed glamour. She oozed glamour. Let's see, what's that? Zendaya is one of the faces for the luxury jewelry house Bulgari. All right. Good for her. Yes, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, you guys, that's it. Thank you so much. I didn't know this was going to be 3 hours. Don't know how that happened. But I think they got the message. I think they got the message. If not, they better ask somebody. Yep, they better ask somebody. I'm just going through looking at some of these other fashions just so that I can make sure that I was right. And so far, I still say Zendaya. Yeah, Zendaya. It was her night. Demi Moore looked pretty good. I mean, especially considering, you know, her age, she looks darn good. But yeah, so far, Zendaya. It is Zendaya's night. And she's wearing something that looks like an engagement ring. The 28-year-old superstar, who has been in a romance with Spider-Man co-star Tom Holland, since 2021 seem to have more to celebrate than just her acting nomination for challengers at the star-studded event. And they show a picture of her well-manicured hand with a big diamond ring, huge diamond. I mean, that diamond looks like an entire royalty check. It looks like a big chunk of residuals. Okay. This is what really killed the queen. Okay, I saw that already, right? Okay. All right, love you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this the safe space that it has always been. And also the members only video is for members only. I do apologize for that. And again, that was a very special night, and we will have to do that again sometime soon. So thanks again, members. I was well, as you know, the night had started off in a very somber way, but by the time that morning, 8 hours later, it was a whole nother situation, and that was a beautiful thing. And I still can't get over how great everything was that night. It was amazing. So thank you for that again. Yeah, absolutely, Legs. It was a great time. It was a great time. Yep, that's it. So I'm going to say good night. Let me figure out what I'm going to play out. Oh, I know. I'm going to do the Commonwealth. I'm going to do the Willie Commonwealth Shuffle. That's it. I'm going to do the Willie Commonwealth Shuffle. So anybody who's unaware can see how William nearly lost half the Commonwealth. Oh, by the way, who are we praying for? I have lost track. I'm so sorry. But we're praying for someone. There's someone we need to add to our prayer list. Help me out if you can. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot. We're supposed to be praying. Oh, Big Mama's son. Thank you. Big Mama's son. Was there someone else? I thought there was someone else too. Okay, maybe that was it. Okay. Oh, like a huge pajama party? Oh yeah, thank you, Thomas Clark. We should vote for those families in New Orleans. Oh my goodness, my stomach was like churning when I was listening to those people talking. It's awful what happened. Wouldn't that be fun though if we had like a huge pajama party? Everyone in their jammies. Bring your own pillow. Get like a carpeted ballroom, right? And you could bring your pillow or sleeping bag or whatever. And we just all binge watch Meghan's what do you call it? The lifestyle show. Yeah, we just binge watched With Love, Meghan. Have a huge pajama party. I have been in my pajamas since the start of the global pandemic. The only person who has been in their pajamas longer than me was Hugh Hefner. I have been in my pajamas since the start of the global pandemic. I have gotten on airplanes in my pajamas. I have crossed rivers. I've been to the grocery store. You couldn't imagine some of the places I've been, and it never dawned on me to wear real clothes. I am still stuck in, March of 2020? I'm still stuck in March of 2020. Yep, PJs forever. Well, we will have a, you know what? Haven't figured out how we're going to do this, but we're going to do something for the release of Meghan's show. Still haven't figured that out yet. Got to think of something though. We ain't got much time, but definitely it's going to be a good show. Yeah, we'll have to open it up to some live callers. But I don't know. It may have to be. I haven't decided yet whether or not it'll be members only. That I haven't decided yet. But the thing is, when it's members only, we can kind of let our hair down a little bit. You know what I mean? We can kind of let our hair down. Let me see. Do we want to see Camilla in any nitty? Oh, a teddy or a nitty. Is that what you said? Wait a minute. What are you saying to me? Do we want to see Camilla in any? Oh, nighty. A nighty. Ugh. Ugh. I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I think I'll do a hard pass on that one. Ugh. Well, there goes dinner. Yeah, I think I'm good on that one. Yeah, I don't want to. I have a theory about what gravity is capable of doing to the human body, right? And I know what gravity has done for me. I know what gravity has done for, a lot of people. But I'm not interested in seeing what gravity has done to Camilla Parker Bowles, to Godzilla Camilla. Because gravity is not her friend. Camilla is best seen from the weightlessness of space. I think that's fair. Let me see here. Putting me off breakfast. No French toast today. Because Camilla seems more a flannel and cigar type. I think you're right. I could picture her in what do you call it? Pajamas and flannel. I mean flannel pajamas and a cigar. That sounds about her speed. Yeah, anything that dainty wouldn't look right on her. Yeah, that wouldn't that's not her strong suit. And certainly if that's not her strong suit, her birthday is definitely not her strong suit. I couldn't imagine her in her 90. Charles, 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 come over here, warm me up, Charles. And then they start doing all that weird talk that they do. No, thank you. No, thank you. Huh, I'm looking for a picture. I don't see it. But you know me, I don't give up. Give me a second. I don't give up easily. Nope, don't see it. Oh, I know. Let me try this one. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah. Oh, that's never stopped me before. There you go. There you go. How about that one, Sean? How about that one? I told you, gin and regret. Gin and regret. Yep, I knew I smelled gin and regret. I hope you're satisfied. All right. I think that should do it. I don't know how we got to 3 hours. Oh, you're going to have to bleach your LED screen? You're going to have to disinfect your LED screen. I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. You don't want those contaminants. I don't want your LED screen to get the cooties. I definitely don't want your LED screen to get the cooties. That would be very awkward and somewhat difficult to explain. Okay. I'm going to try this one more time. You know I never give up. Let me see. Okay, don't know why that didn't work. Good night, you guys. I'm done. I'm just sitting here fooling around. Pay me no attention. Nope, that didn't work. Let me see, but it shouldn't be that. All right, let me try that then. Oh, that's weird. How come I can't find it? Oh, there we go. There we go. There you go. Now that's the real Camilla. Notice in each image, she has a drink. Nightie, bra and girdle, or whatever that is in the middle. That's the real Camilla. That old broad. And now you're going to have to disinfect your cell phone or computer. Ooh, it's 3 hours and 14 minutes. Let me get off of this thing. We're not doing another marathon, that's for certain. So good night, TMCD. Is it Kojo? Wonderful. All right. Good night, Lydia, Maurice Brown, Sussex Team Warrior, Ipsby, TT Carter, Thomas Clark, everybody, Denise Marcus, Plus Size Fairy. Good night, one and all. Uh-oh. What is that? Whatever you do, don't. I know. I don't want anybody trying to gouge their eyes out at this hour. My eyes. All right. Now I'm going to go for real this time.